Hey, I'm Caleb from Caleb's Aviation. Welcome back to another episode of Aviation News. There's quite a bit to cover today, so let's go. First up, for those of you who are unaware, last week on February 9th, a Challenger jet flown by operator Hoppa Jet Charters had a dual-engine failure in Naples, Florida.
Got the emergency clear to land runway 23. Is that Hoppa Jet A380?
We're clear to land, but we're not going to make the runway. We've lost both engines.
After relaying the message of both engines failing to air traffic control, the plane simply ran out of airspeed, and on February 9th, at about 3:05 in the afternoon, the plane stalled and crashed into a retaining wall off of Interstate 75 South. Upon colliding with the wall next to the highway, the collision would unfortunately burst the fuel tanks in the wings and cause a fire. The entire incident was caught on camera, and the wreckage burned for almost 4 hours. The remains of the burned aircraft were later removed from the highway. For those of you who are some of my older subscribers, you may remember, I've been to Naples Airport before. Leave me a comment if you remember that video. Let's go enjoy the video. Oh yeah! Make sure to check out that video, by the way, as it was a really fun video to make, and just a perfect weather day for plane spotting. I also do plan to head behind the scenes at Naples Airport sometime, so keep an eye out. Back to today's topic, here's an image of a Challenger cockpit, the same type that was on the jet that crashed. By the way, here's that footage again, captured on someone's dash cam, in slow motion this time. Unfortunately, this accident would also claim 2 lives. Both pilots, who were very experienced pilots flying Challengers, would unfortunately lose their lives in this crash. However, 1 crew member and 2 passengers made it away safely. Moving on to some happier news, Air New Zealand has announced their long-awaited economy Skynest product will begin being rolled out by the end of this year. For those who are unfamiliar, Air New Zealand already has their existing Sky Couch product for economy class, where passengers can book 3 seats next to each other to make a sort of bed. However, this new product called Skynest by Air New Zealand is a series of bunk beds equipped in the cabin, which will be bookable separately for economy class passengers. Would you fly the Air New Zealand Skynest product? I probably would if the price was right on some of their ultra long-haul routes. I also apologize for no more photos, as there aren't many publicly available photos of this product to show. However, it certainly looks far better than their existing Sky Couch product, especially on some of their ultra long-haul routes, like Auckland to New York JFK. Talking Auckland to JFK, this is now the world's 6th longest flight, covering more than 18 hours in the air, non-stop.
Time of 18 hours and 10 minutes.
The world's getting smaller because flights keep getting longer. Cities that used to require multiple stops to connect are now just 1 flight away.
My friend Jeb Brooks recently made an excellent video flying this route from JFK to Auckland. It's well worth checking out.
Dreamliner at rest after its 15-hour journey in from Auckland. There are 275 seats on this plane, but in order to save weight and make the fuel last longer, Air New Zealand only sells 180 tickets on this route. This flight will push the plane to its limits.
Moving on, we have more news and updates regarding the 737 MAX 7. However, have you subscribed to my channel yet? This would be a good time. Make sure you subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I hope you're enjoying the video. Back to the news. Australian low-cost carrier Bonza has expressed interest in the 737 MAX 7 variant. News isn't super surprising, as Bonza already flies a fleet of 737 MAX 8s. However, Bonza is looking to expand some of their domestic capacity on lower demand routes than the MAX 8 can fill. This is an excellent slot for the 737 MAX 7, well, once it's certified to fly. For those of you who didn't know, the 737 MAX 7 replaces the existing 737-700 with the same size and capacity. However, the MAX 7 improves upon range and fuel efficiency substantially. Despite these improvements, the MAX 7 has not been the strong seller Boeing hoped it would be. Launch customer Southwest hasn't even received their first MAX 7, as it's yet to be certified. Southwest and Bonza now on board for the MAX 7 is good news. However, a carrier often overlooked is Alaska Airlines. They fly exclusively 737s, and their 700s are getting old. They bought these to replace their 737-200s, all of which have now been retired. If Alaska would order the 737 MAX 7, it would really help the program. Also, with Alaska being an only 737 operator, seeing them order the MAX 7 wouldn't be too far-fetched. Moving on to Thai Airways, they've announced a major order for Boeing 787 Dreamliners. The flag carrier of Thailand received their first 787-8 several years ago now, back in 2014. However, the Asian airline market is only growing, and Thai might have more interest in more 787s now. Following some hard hits from the pandemic, this is good news as Thai has ordered 25 787-9s. This will really help them expand and grow their fleet within the Asian market. And I can't wait to fly one someday. I think it would be great. Leave me a comment. Have you flown Thai? Moving on to perhaps the most shocking portion of aviation news, a new Airbus A380 carrier has been announced. You heard that right, a new Airbus A380 operator, UK-based Global Airways, has intentions to start flying the Airbus A380 on high-demand transatlantic routes like New York to London to compete with other carriers. However, with superjumbo production now shuttered, Global Airways will get all their A380s formerly flown by China's Southern Airlines. Global plans to initially take 6 of the former China Southern Airbus A380s and retrofit them to put them back into service. If you thought that was the most shocking piece of aviation news, well, wait until you hear this. Egyptian flag carrier Egyptair has announced plans to retire their entire Airbus A220 fleet by the end of the year. This is shocking, with them being the first carrier to retire the A220, and most of their A220s average only 2 years in age. The cabins are still quite fresh and new, and it's really a shocking move. For those who need a refresher, Egyptair received their first Airbus A220-300 all the way back in 2019, destined for now dissolved carrier Egyptair Express. Carrier hoped to take on the A220 for short to medium haul routes that didn't have high demand, but were far distances. At first, retiring the Airbus A220 didn't seem to make much sense. However, you also have to consider that Egyptair flies a very good replacement, the Airbus A320neo. Despite being slightly larger than the A220, the A320neo is a good replacement for short to medium haul routes. The 320neo will also allow Egyptair to expand on longer haul, higher demand routes than the A220s could fill. Part of the reason for also upsizing and expanding has to do with competing with the Gulf carriers, especially since in recent years Gulf carriers have really stolen the show with getting a lot of connecting traffic, and Egyptair hopes to do the same. If you're interested in seeing a video on board the A320neo of Egyptair, check out my friend Dennis Bunnick's excellent video. It was great. Well, that's going to be it for this video of aviation news. Hope you enjoyed. If so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. Also, make sure to check out those videos I highlighted earlier. They're linked below. But until next time, wishing you blue skies and tailwinds.